Hello, everybody. Shavua Tov. Welcome to this evening's wine session. We have a great one for you. It is 5:30 in the morning in Israel, and the sun is up. And we're going to take you for a ride into the winery and into the vineyards and all around near the winery. It's going to be really cool. I want to thank Shrag and Asaf, both from Gush Etzion Winery, for joining us tonight. And I want to thank Josh, as always, for putting this together and pulling all the strings behind the scene. Josh will be emceeing this evening tonight. So,
hi, good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's ready to have a great week. The weather looks like it's getting a little nicer out there for us on the East Coast here in the Northeast. So we're going to have a nice, relaxing rest of the holiday weekend here. When we started this program, I talked to Gush, and I was trying to say, hey, what unique thing? He goes, I want my son involved, who's involved every day. I'm going to send him out, and he's going to run around and show you guys what I do in the winery all day. So we have Shraga in the winery, and we have Asaf running around the vineyards, showing us some cool things and that have to do with the winery that you'll see more as he's running around. So good morning, Shraga. Good morning, Asaf. Thank you guys for waking up so early. I was just telling David, I don't know who's more tired right now, me or them. But I'll kick it off to Shraga. Shraga, good morning. Shraga's live right now in the winery.
Joshua. Good morning, Joshua.
Good morning. Shraga, where are you exactly?
I am now, you see, in the place of the bells, the room of the bells, like 14 degrees Celsius here. This is you see, the wine. We have here like 30 ton of wine, and from 2019, aged now in French, mostly French oak barrels. You can see the barrels around. This is the most important place for the red wine, of course. You see all big boxes. We bottled last week. We bottled the Lone Oak Tree and Blessed Valley Red of 18. So it aged like 20 months in French oak barrels, and now bottle it. And now it's we shall start labeling this bottle. I am here downstairs. You can see also the place for the fermentation of the red wine. You see the big tank? This is new from last year. We added this big tank, big body. It's very good and efficient, and for quality red wine, to ferment quality red wine. Every tank is like 7,500 liter capacity.
And Shraga, I have a question for you. I know we've all thought about at our home wanting to make our own wine, and we've all thought about converting our bathtubs into a form or a way to make wine or alcohol at home. And I can personally say that I know a crazy guy that actually did that. Shraga, who am I talking about?
You talk about my family. Okay. So it's a long story. We start this project in the 90s. I remember I'm a social worker, and in my occupation, and I was in charge of a place of old people from Jerusalem, municipality of Jerusalem. I come to Efrat with my wife, Tamar. She passed away 7 years ago. I come to Efrat, and we together, we build this project. We start slowly. In the beginning, I make from liqueur, cherry liqueur, and from blackberry. We make cherry blackberry, liqueur from blackberry, liqueur for cherry. And after it, I see the whole view of the area without vineyard. Only the Arab in this time have vineyard for table for eating. So I see it. So we make a decision. We shall build this winery. This is in in 92. I make this decision. 92, 93. So in 96 we planted the first vineyard of Cabernet Sauvignon. In that time, I make 296. I make like 1,000 to 2,000 bottles in my home in a frat. It's very unusual to make a lot of wine in the home, and I sell it around. You see, and I remember my son Asaf. Asaf, you remember to bring grape from the south, from Arad vineyard, that Yatir. You remember? I lost some.
Of course, I were a child, but yes, of course.
Guys, this is Asaf. Asaf, good morning. Good morning. Where are you right now, Asaf? Can you show everybody where you are and your beautiful view?
Good morning. I'm here and next to the Lolo, next to Rosh Tzurim. Behind me there is a big valley with around 150 dunams, like around 30 acres of different types of grapes. In this valley, there is more than 10 types of grapes. Maybe later I'll show you part of them.
It's a beautiful view, Asaf. I love waking up and seeing the sunrise with you. What do you have? Do you have anything in your hand for breakfast this morning, by chance?
So in one moment I will go to the Gush Vineyard, and I have a rosé. Usually I'm not cooking even a rosé in 5:30. So I'll just show you.
All right, so we're going to go throw it back to your father to ask him a couple more questions about the winery. I'll let you run to the next place that we're going to be. Thank you for running around. Drive safely. And we're going to throw it back over to Shraga. Shraga, one thing that also is very unique about your winery is the fact that you guys also have a restaurant there. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the uniqueness of the restaurant in the winery itself and how they work well together?
Okay, so the restaurant is a part. We start the winery. We opened the new winery in the center of the Gush. This is our new building. So immediately we start to this also a restaurant. The reason for it is because of the winery. We want people to come to expose to the wine and to buy wine, of course, in the visitor center. This is the restaurant is one of the few restaurants in the Gush. It's already 15 years open. You know, it's not so easy. Restaurant is a tough business, but because of the winery, a lot of groups come and make a lunch and taste the wine, and this is it's going. You see, the restaurant is still now it's closed because of the corona.
We're good. You got you.
Okay. So I'm here in the Grenache Vineyard. It's beginning now to. You can see the first small grapes. We had a very hot days last year, but today it's raining, and we're hoping it's not gonna do anything bad to the flowers of the new grapes that we have. And opening, I said before actually that you can see here more than 10 types of grapes. So on the other side, you can see them over there, the sun, and Gewürztraminer, the Cabernet Sauvignon, and under us, Pinot Grigio, and the Sauvignon Blanc. You can see and also some Merlot on the other side of the valley. And from this Grenache, we're making this rosé. The rosé from the Lone Oak series is that it is my next after I leave the vineyard. So the Grenache is it's a blend of Syrah, of Grenache, Mourvedre, and Syrah.
Can you give us some tasting notes on the wine too? A little bit of soft. What are we tasting in this vintage?
So Grenache, Mourvedre, and Syrah, kind of a warm area of warm type of rosé, very mineral, very high acidity. We are harvesting it very early to save high acidity and low pH. A lot of fruit in the mouth, in the smell, and very high acidity and very easy taste in the mouth.
I said, how has your success with rosé been in the at the winery in the past couple of years? Where have you seen rosé going?
So it looks like it's going up all the time. People want the rosé to be more easier and with less color, with less more mineral taste, more acidity rosé, and it's more than the type of the Provence and the Rhone, the south of the Rhone type of rosé. And we're trying to go there also because we have those varieties, the Grenache, the Mourvedre, and the Syrah, their own types of grapes.
You can see here, if it's a final view, you see this. You see this bottle.
Yep.
This is Syrah Mourvedre Grenache, the Rhone style red wine and Spring River
Series.
Yes, yes. We have actually now new label. It's very important to mention it. You can see, this is the Israeli, you can see the label. This is Lone Oak, for example, Cabernet Franc. You see it? You see,
yep.
It's a little changing. We changed the logo. You can see it during next year. You can see it's also in America. The new label with the Lone Oak. This is the new style of labels. In 1 year or two, you can see it in America. So, as I say, the same Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, mostly Grenache, GSM, is as the rosé. We have it also in the Spring River, a very Rhone light style wine, open immediately, which is also, we make it more and more here. You can see, you see the color.
Beautiful color.
Yes.
Shraga, can I ask you a question?
Excuse me, I shall not drink it. That only put it in the glass. It's not so. It's too early to drink the red wine. Okay. So I want you to see.
If that red and the rosé are the same, besides the oak content, what is the biggest difference?
The rosé, you expose to the skin, maybe from 0 to 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, we are very careful. We don't want a lot of color in this rosé because they have also a little Syrah. We have to be very careful. So it's even 0 contact with the skin, and it still have a light color of a fine rosé. So the GSM, we make like 3 weeks fermentation with the skin. It's like red wine, like every red wine, for 2 or 3 weeks fermentation, and also malolactic. It's also we make the malolactic fermentation that the wine shall be stable. This is for the all red wine. The rosé, it's not that we don't want it to ferment malolactic fermentation. We need the acidity, so we keep it more cold. We added the sulfite in the beginning, so we avoid the malolactic fermentation, and we make the filtering 0.45 like white wine. So this is the most difference between the two wines.
I got a quick question. Some people here are sitting down in front of their computers and their phones, and they ordered in some pizza to be entertained and to have something to eat. Which of your wines should they open up to drink that will go the best with their pizza?
I think a light wine. I think like GSM, even Spring River, the red blend, or white. I think the summer is now is coming. The white is always a good option in the summer. You have there the Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon Blanc is a great.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Sauvignon Blanc? How would it pair well with the pizza? Because I love Sauvignon Blanc. I think it goes great with pizza, but why do you think it does? And how?
So the Sauvignon Blanc is like a very high acidity. It's going, I think, good with the food, also with fish, but you see also this cheese that it's very heavy. I think the acidity shall make it more balanced. You see, it's light, the Sauvignon Blanc, and very acid, very round also. Okay, so I think it's a good for cheese.
So
Asaf, where are you?
I'm in the Lone Oak. The Lone Oak tree is a symbol of Gush Etzion. It's 700 years old tree. It's also on our part of our labels, on our single vineyards and single variety labels. It is a symbol of Gush Etzion because in Gush Etzion we're 4 kibbutzim till the independent war, till 1948, and they all destroyed it in the independent war. The people who left Gush Etzion after the independent war, the sons, all the men that been here in Gush Etzion get killed in the last battle of Gush Etzion 1 day before the independent declaration in the 4th of Iyar 1948, and all the men that been here get killed in this last battle. But their sons, their children, left Gush Etzion few months before this last battle. They can't get back to Gush Etzion because it's were under the Jordanian occupation. So those months of the war, they were in a church in Jerusalem, and after it, for 19 years, they can't get back to Gush Etzion, but they have a weekly ceremony of climbing on one of the hills next to Jerusalem. They can see this tree, the Lone Oak, very old tree, and it became to be the symbol for the hope to get back to Gush Etzion. And also for us, it is a symbol, the serious, for the single vineyard wines, single vineyard, single variety wines.
Cool, look at that tree. Wow. All right, awesome.
Can you just tell us a little bit about what makes your Sauvignon Blanc unique?
Okay, I think it's because we are one of the high places, the highest peak of the Judean hills, and it's giving very aromatic types of whites, very high acidity. Because it's a cold area, we can arrive to ready to high sugar grapes, but still with high aroma and high acidity, low pH wine. Also, the very mineral type of ground that we have here is very important for for growing white types of grapes.
I wanted Jay just to talk maybe a little bit about the Gush white wines and in general, and maybe his experience going and visiting Shraga in the south sometimes.
I know you mentioned this before, but literally just everybody should know that this started as a hobby in literally a tiny little part of his home. And you really have to visit the winery today. But his white wines are amazing. I think that when you have that kind of control over your vineyards, because he does, all the vineyards that he uses literally surround the winery. And, I've talked about this many times. If you can control from the seedling to the bottling and everything in between, your opportunity for higher quality is always raised. And Shragu's done it.
And a quick question for you, Jay. Jay, there's three things that make a good bottle of wine usually. There's three things. There's very different things that make a good bottle of wine. But what are those three things?
Okay, there's only three things. And I learned this from Walt Walters, who had 90-year-old vines for Lytton Springs Zinfandel back in the 70s. And he said there's only three things that matter. Good grapes. So everybody knows that, right? And the second thing, very, very important, is good grapes. And the third thing, which is very, very important, is good grapes. So, when it's kind of a joke within the
it's like real estate and location.
Yeah, right. Location. So Shraga's got that. Shraga just mentioned that there are people that are interested in the vineyards that surround his winery, and this is why. And it also is very important in terms of the specific terroir and the signature of Shraga's wines, of Gush Etzion wines.
So I'm now in the Blessed Valley. It is a high wine of the wines. It's less than 200 meters from the winery. Like Jay and the terroir is, of course, the most important thing in making a quality wine. But what we're trying to do is to represent our area, Gush Etzion area.
Well, I got the Spring River Red, so I'm ready to taste. I've been holding. I had the Sauvignon Blanc as well, but it wasn't cold enough to drink, so I didn't want to open it up. But now I got the Spring River Red. Shraga, let's talk about this for a while. Let's taste it together. Even if you don't drink it, you talk about it. I'm going to drink it. I'll enjoy it more that way.
You're talking about the red blend, the Bordeaux style. This is the red blend. It's the Bordeaux style. Cabernet Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and the second, as you say, the Syrah Mauvais de Grenache, the GSM. About this is 12 months age in the oak barrels. It's also it's not so heavy. It's a medium body and very drinkable. Also open very fast. It's also I think it's a good price also for the customer. So what do you think, Duvid?
Yeah, it's a very nice wine. Obviously, with these varietals grown in a warmer climate than Bordeaux, you're getting the fruit is a lot more ripe. So you get a lot more fruit. It's more fruit forward. You get some good spice on it. It's either from the clove or from the grapes themselves. It's definitely on the medium plus body side, so it's not too overly heavy. Really approachable wine, really nice wine, and like you said, Shraga, for the price, coming in at around $25 to $30, it's a very good price for the wine.
You have some single vineyard series and you have some blend series. As a winemaker and working with wine, which one's more enjoyable for you to make?
The blend is more interesting to make because we can change the character. We make the wine in different barrels. Like if we're talking about, let's take the Blessed Valley Red. Now it's in America, you see, the 2017, and also the new label, you can see it, the Blessed Valley Red. It's also from Bordeaux. It's Bordeaux style, Cabernet Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot. We keep this wine like 8 months in separate barrels. After we come together, we think, we make a few options. We added more Petit Verdot, less Petit Verdot. So and we make a decision how to make the barrel. That you can control to get like a very interesting taste. You can change the taste.
Well, we obviously had the whites with the Gewürztraminer and the Sauvignon Blanc. We also have a late harvest Gewürztraminer. That one I have at home. I'm not opening it up now. I'm opening it up for Shavuos. We don't have a lot of bottles here in the U.S. We brought it in exclusively, limited production. I have a couple of bottles at home. Perfect dessert wine, also perfect wine that could age. There you go. They're 375 milliliter bottles. You have the 2018 there. Which vintage do you have there?
Yes, 2018.
2018. That's what we have here in the U.S. That was one of the wines on the list that we want to talk about. So let's talk about the late harvest Gewürztraminer.
Okay, the late also we make harvesting in very it's late harvest. So we like 28.5 bricks percentage of sugar. So and we make a slow fermentation, and we stop the fermentation like in still alcohol inside like 13, more than 13, and it's sweet, but it's not heavy sweetness. Very very refreshing and very unique Gewürztraminer. We shall make it also in 2020.
The wineries also can be used for events and parties and bar mitzvahs and weddings and other fun stuff also, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I can go with you.
Yeah, show us around.
You see, this is the visitor center where we can make here a small event for 50 people. But I go outside. You see, we have a place. It's called Kerem Tamar.
Wow. The Merpeset.
This is the place for event outside. You see, it's still closed. We make a few of 50 people because of the corona. We only can make 50, but in the end of this month, in June, we can make for 100 people. This is the law here in Israel. You see, this is the place. You see, around.
We truly enjoyed coming with my family to your winery over Sukkot. It was beautiful. We ordered a lot of wine from you. Everything was delicious. We'd love to know how we can get the same order back. Also, my question is temperatures, the proper temperature to keep the various wines that we purchased from you. Is it 60 degrees right across the board for both your Cabernet and your late harvest? I would appreciate it if you could tell me.
Just to clarify, are we talking about storing or we're talking about serving?
We're talking about storing and then serving.
Jay, I think you are Jay from Royal. You are the most expert you can say about the temperature of serving and everything.
So the first thing is, the most important thing about storing wine is it should be kept away from light, heat, and mostly also vibration. So those are the important things. The temperature at which you should store it is in the low 60s, the low to mid 60s at most, okay? And that's for reds and whites. Do not, in my view, you should not be chilling your whites, even in storage. You want to chill them before you drink them, not while you store them.
Well, they should be stored at that temperature that you were saying before, like in the high 50s,
right.
Low 60s, right?
Right. But I'm saying, if you want to chill it for drinking, wait until you're ready to drink them, and then the night before, put them in the fridge, okay? A lot of people actually store them at refrigerated temperatures because they want to pull them right out all the time, but that's not my suggestion. You should be serving reds at about 67, 68 degrees, What I like to do, especially with some of the better reds, is even if they're room temperature, which is about 70, I put them in the fridge for about 15, 20 minutes before I serve them, and the better reds.
Yeah, and I think the Sauvignon Blanc and the Gewürztraminer should both be served around 45 to 50 degrees.
Yes, the sweeter the wine, the colder it should be.
Right, and the late harvest Gewürztraminer could even be perhaps a little bit colder, like 40, 45 probably.
There is one exception to that rule, or might be a couple, Hungarian Tokaj, and also French.
Sauterne, ice wine.
Sauterne. No, ice wine should be served very cold, but Sauternes and Tokajs can be served almost like red wines. A little bit cooler, but not cold like Gewürztraminer or those types.
All right, and there's also a question about aging wine
you,
there, and someone's asking about how one ages wine. Do you want to take a stab at that, Jay?
Aging wine should be aged exactly at the same temperatures we spoke about, low 60s. But not all wines are meant for aging and should not be aged. And don't do what I do. It's a big mistake.
Drink them?
No, don't wait and past their prime. Try to keep the wines past their prime. Generally, Israeli wines, and this is such a very, very general rule, Israeli wines, even the best of them, will last up to about 15 years. Some great California wines can last between 20 and even 25 years.
Are you talking about in the bottle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And some French wines can last even longer than that. Now, Sauternes and Tokajs, there aren't any Tokajs around these days that are kosher, but Sauternes can last 25, 30, and even 35 years or more sometimes.
Some Burgundies, some Bordeaux as well.
Some Burgundies, yeah.
But they have to be properly stored, and like you were saying before, Jay, they should stay in the same temperature. Don't move them. Keep them in a dark, quiet place with no vibrations, at the right temperature, consistently.
Also, one of the most important
on their side as well, right? Don't stand them up.
One of the most important things is the constancy of the temperature. So don't
fluctuate.
Don't fluctuate. Correct.
Yeah, you're better off keeping it at 65 consistently than going between 57 and 65 up and down. You just want things consistent.
Right.
They're sleeping, don't wake them up. Let's say that. Do you guys have locals like Gush Etzion, the community there? Do you have people locally that work there?
We are a few people who work in the winery with bottling wine. A lot of students from the yeshiva working when we bottle the wine. We have the restaurant, and a lot of people work in the restaurant to give services. We give some work to people in the winery, in the area.
Someone else asked, what's a recommendation for wine that you can make kiddush on and then enjoy with a roast?
This Shabbat, and most of the Shabbatot, I'm drinking Spring River Red. Our Cabernet Merlot, Cabernet Franc blend. It's with almost all the food. It's great. It's when I want to go on sure, it's the best wine to go for sure on something. Great for also for the beginning. It's not too heavy, and also with heavy food, it's not too weak. And I think in Israel, it's one of the value for money wines, the best value for money wines. And it's also got a medal in best value as a very good value for money wine. Usually drinking the rosé for Shabbat, right?
The rosé, sure. Rosé and the white. This is my favorite.
And let me ask you guys something. Are you going to be are there any new wines that we should be looking out for? I remember tasting a barrel sample of the Syrah just by itself. Did you guys bottle that? Are you bringing that to market? Or are you still using it for the blend? Tell me a little bit about that.
I show you. This is the new it's a Syrah. You see, but we don't have a lot of Syrah. So
that's 100% Syrah?
Yeah, this is 100% Syrah. Excellent. I think, David, you tasted it's a very, very nice wine. I think Jay also, Royal, you tasted there, but we don't have a lot of wine, so our decision always to sell it in the winery, you understand?
Is there, and most wineries have this, is there one or two wines that not only will you not export to America, but you don't even export within Israel outside of your winery, that if someone wants to taste it, they can only get it at your winery?
Yes, I think now we're talking about this Syrah. Sometimes we make Petit Verdot, but it's also small amount, only in the, you can...
2-3 barrels?
Yes, in the winery, not also in shops in Israel, only in the winery.
I say that because I want to tease everybody that they should go and visit with you and have your great buffet, although I don't know if buffets are going to be ever back again, so...